Thank you for watching the second in the video series of the DX Advantage. This video is going to cover driver repository creation for your Windows 7 migration. Previously, we discussed Windows 7 operating system deployment automation by using DX's capabilities to analyze your system and group them into models and classes as management objects. Now, we're going to talk about the second phase, driver repository creation. Drivers can be added to DeployXpert's repository using two methods. The first, of course, is the legacy method of manually downloading plug-and-play ready drivers from your device vendor and adding them to the driver repository, categorizing them in association with the relevant models and classes. Now, you can see in SCCM's console, you have the drivers folder, and as you've probably done many times if you've used SCCM for deployment, you know you can download a driver and add it into the drivers handling function. You can also organize them as packages and assign them to different models and categories. In addition to allowing the easy manual driver addition that you're used to using, drivers can be quickly and automatically retrieved across the network. So no matter what type of drivers are required by the systems in your enterprise, DX has a harvest capability that quickly obtains and maps the drivers for you. This allows you to quickly generate a comprehensive driver library that is natively integrated into your deployment task sequence, and it covers all desired models, devices, and peripherals. How this works, if we go to the Analyzer screen, we can see the classification that we discussed in our earlier videos. Now, one of the important ramifications of us doing the work to classify your systems and keep them organized into classes and model groups is that we can take a single class and designate what's called a candidate system. Now, this class happens to have one system, but classes can have one, two, or hundreds of systems in the class. As previously discussed, all systems within a class are the same make and model and have exactly and only the same devices on board, including any third-party peripherals or any devices that may not be part of the model as a base unit, but may be from your OEM vendor and just not supplied a driver as part of the model's driver pack. So in either case, when you harvest a representative from a class, whether there's one system or again hundreds in there or any number, that driver pack that is returned to the SCCM DX server is automatically processed in and becomes part of the driver repository that SCCM MDT and your task sequence already know how to use, and in fact is already plumbed, if you will, into the auto apply drivers function of your task sequence that's associated with the profile. The way harvesting works is once a system is harvested, a software delivery advertisement is assigned to it through your native SCCM software delivery advertisement function. That advertisement is for our collector executable, and it runs on the client and silently, while the user's using the machine without bothering them, streams a copy of the drivers back to the SCCM server. Those drivers are then automatically processed into the server. Any redundancies that are already represented in the driver database are eliminated, so we end up using single driver instancing, which is very efficient for disk space and makes the whole version management for drivers much more manageable. And they're automatically defined as packages and assigned to the relevant models, classes, and categories. It's all completely seamless. So imagine this: if you have a fleet of XP computers out there with various devices and things, and you want to go ahead and collect drivers from all your classes, that may be very useful if you're planning on using Windows 7's XP VM to support legacy applications and devices. So if you're using the XP compatibility mode, you could actually use those in that deployment scenario. Whereas in a situation where you're moving from XP to Windows 7, what you can do is use the legacy method to prime the system, if you will, and simply download your different model packs, assigning them at the model level, and then start doing deployments. Because we know that peripherals, third-party items, and different devices complicate the driver needs beyond what the basic model pack supplies, you're going to get deployments that don't have all the drivers they need. No problem. You simply add the missing driver or drivers, right-click, harvest the system in question, and the deploy expert system learns it. So its advanced driver manager quickly absorbs and learns drivers that it needs to know about. Those drivers are automatically processed in, and that very same task sequence results in a perfectly successful deployment for not only that system, but all the follow-on systems that are just like it from a device standpoint. What it means from a practical standpoint is you can go from a brand new system you've never seen in a cardboard box to a ready-to-deploy system in minutes. Now your deployments are going to include drivers not just for the core machine, but all devices. So you're doing full system deployments and presenting a much more complete solution to your users and your IT organization.